My favourite movie for every decade from the 1950s to the 2020s. Let's go! Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing swell. Okay, that's right, we're doing my favourite movies for every decade from the 1950s all the way up to the 2020s. This is going to be an open VR. I've really enjoyed, got my notes, okay? I was busy in work today. So I've really enjoyed doing this video. So if anyone else wants to do a VR, you are more than welcome, okay? So, the rules, the movie's got to be released within that each decade. I have got some runners up because I did really struggle. Also, thank you everyone. I did a post yesterday and another one today. I was struggling with the 1990s, so I put down what's your favourite movies for the 1990s. So thanks for all the comments on that. And another one is 2000s. I struggled. I think I picked a winner. I think I'm going to stick. I'm locking it in. I'm locking my winner in for the 2000s. But every other decade, I'm pretty confident. I knew the answer. I don't think there was any change in my mind on any of these other movies, okay, from the other decades. Okay, coming in the 1950s. No, I wasn't born in the 1950s. But there was two movies that really have stood the test of time, if you like. It's probably no surprise. I'm just realized I got a Godzilla t-shirt on today. My favourite movie for the 1950s has to be Godzilla. It's aged like a fine wine. It's a formula that, I don't know, until I don't want to give the 2020s went away. It's been the best Godzilla for 70 years, do you know what I mean? It's outstanding. I love the music, the characters. I know it's not the first kaiju movie ever to be released, but it's the one that they've just done it so well. He looks so cool. I know you can tell when you look at it now. It's a man in a suit, isn't it? But I like to think of it as a man in a suit. When they're firing all the projectiles and the missiles at him, there's actually, on all these little explosions, there's actually someone in that suit, you know what I mean? So, my pick for the 1950s is Godzilla 1954. Shout out as well to, or runner-up would be Seven Samurai. And I have watched that movie probably within the last 5 years. Was the first time I watched it, and it's just this one scene. Everyone knows the story of Seven Samurai, but there's that scene where one of the villagers, his wife or his girlfriend run off with the raiders, and there's a part in it where they set fire to when they're fighting back. They set fire to one of the houses that all these raiders are sleeping in, and his partner's in the house, but he didn't know at the time. So when they're running out, some of them are running out. They're all there waiting with their swords to hack them down, kind of thing, to thin their numbers out. And his ex-partner runs out and sees him, makes eye contact with him, and there's just like this awkward silence. And because she can't live with the shame of what's happening, she turns around and would rather than face her ex, she runs back into the fire and, basically burns alive. That's always stayed with me. It's nuts. But if you haven't seen Godzilla, definitely check it out. If you haven't seen Seven Samurai, definitely check that out as well. 1960s. There's only ever going to be one winner. One of my favourite movies of all time is Jason and the Argonauts. It came out in 1963. I watched this movie every other, probably twice a month, I want to say. My nan had it on VHS, and when we used to go up every either Saturday and stay Saturday night. Or we used to go up every Sunday. And that was one of the movies we always used to put on. One of my favourite, I suppose he is a villain, is Talos, the massive statue. And that bit where they're looting his treasure and he's guarding it, and when his head, they can hear like the iron moving, like it's like, what's that noise? They come out, they're looking around, and then when you see Talos's head move like that, oh my god. And then how they defeat him and stuff like that. If I was around in the 1960s and went to the cinema to watch that, that would have just blown my mind. I'd love to watch that on the big screen right now, today. Absolutely amazing movie. Easily my favourite 1960s movie. The 1970s, this is another easy one for me. Star Wars. It can't be anything else. I know there's a load of good movies came out in the 70s. But it has to be Star Wars. They changed cinema. They changed the way movies were made. It is my favourite Star Wars movie of all time, which it probably is most people's favourite movie. It just introduced so many things, like laser swords. We never had laser swords before. Spaceships. I love the world building. It was the first, I think it was the first that did spaceships that looked like they've been used every single day, where before Star Wars, spaceships are shiny, metallic, and the soundtrack as well. Shout out John Williams. I know you're watching. The soundtrack in Star Wars is fantastic as well. It's probably is the perfect movie, isn't it? It's good for youngsters. I can't remember the first time I ever watched it because I was born in the early 80s. But it's always been there. It's always been part of my life. I remember having a shit day in school or something. I always had Star Wars to come home to. The Star Wars characters were there for me. Little Tony Fighter, Moving on to the 1980s. This is a hard one. This was a really, really hard one for me. I'll do my two runners-up. Ghostbusters, an absolute classic movie that they can't seem to, that formula. Apparently there was a lot of improv in that movie as well. They had a really talented cast of characters. The actors, each actor nailed their role perfectly. The effects as well, not many people talk about when they talk about Ghostbusters. That was like, I'm not sure when it came out. Was it mid-80s? But the special effects in that movie are amazing. Another one that has to be mentioned is Back to the Future. I actually do remember the first time I watched this. Christmas in the school I went to, when it comes to Christmas, like the last day of term, I don't know if schools still do this. So I would have been in primary school, where someone brought a movie in for us to watch, and the teacher said, yeah, we'll watch a movie called Back to the Future. Didn't like it at the start. I thought, what's all this with all the clocks everywhere? But then I thought, okay, he's got a skateboard, he's pretty cool. And then it just got better and better and better. But back in the 80s, I gotta be honest, I loved everything about Back to the Future 2. But I do think the first Back to the Future stood the test of time. That's a movie they won't ever be able to make that quality ever again, okay? But my favourite movie from the 1980s has to be The Terminator. Came out in 1984. I remember the first time I watched this movie. I was way too young to watch it. And I was one of the first people in my class in school to watch it as well. Funnily enough, my next door neighbour, his parents, they didn't care what we were watching. His father had quite a good movie selection. And he'd come home from work some days. I'd always be in my next door neighbour's house. He'd come home from work. Oh, what are you watching? I don't know, like Total Recall in the bar with a woman with 3 boobs and stuff like that. He didn't go, all right, okay, it's a good movie, this. I would have been, still in primary school watching these movies, But yeah, The Terminator, I love everything about it. From the first time I watched it, there was something there. It's such a petrifying idea or thought that imagine someone that looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he did in the 1980s, made of metal, that doesn't sleep, doesn't rest, you can't bargain with him. And I used to, I know I watched it too early because it did mess with my head a little bit. I remember if I was in someone else's house, or if I was, say, going to the toilet, it always happened in the toilet. Say I was in my friend's house or relative's house, and I was using the toilet, for example. That's how my head used to work. I always had to have an escape route just in case the Terminator came through that door. So I'd always have to look through my window, or the window of the toilet, or these houses. Right, I can climb down that pole there, I can jump on there, I'm safe. Now I can go to the toilet. And say I'd be in like a service station, I'd be, oh my god, there's no toilets. Oh, maybe I can climb up. There's no window, sorry. Maybe I can climb up through that window there. So I know there's age limits on these movies for a good reason, but I'm glad. We used to play Terminator. Me and my mates used to alternate. One of us would be the Kyle Reese and the other one would be the Terminator and stuff like that. I remember I used to think I had an army. They're like army stores. I don't think they do them anymore. Like $1.99 will get you like an army top. But I had that as a child, and I used to think I looked like Kyle Reese for some reason wearing his army stuff. I don't know, I just unlocked that memory just now, do you know what I mean? But the Terminator is fantastic, and it is what I would call a masterpiece, okay? Another one that's aged well, stood the test of time. Now, the 1990s, okay, I'm just going to pause it one sec. Okay, so we're on to the 1990s, and I think the 1990s, maybe it's the era, like due to our age or something like that, but my opinion is the 1990s was the best decade for movies. There was just like, every summer you're guaranteed to be like the summer blockbuster. There was always, every single year, there was a massive movie would drop, okay? So this is the one where I needed your guys' help. So I got the comments just to the side, and I'll go through, and then I'll tell you what I decided on, okay? But also, I think someone does say in one of the comments, if you ask me tomorrow, it might not be this answer. It's between two, maybe three movies. Is that hard, okay? So we had NWHZ-D5Z. Hope I haven't butchered your name. Orgasmo was the best 90s superhero movie. Don't think I've seen that one. Captain Valencia, Jurassic Park. What a treat that is. Absolute fantastic movie. Lucky enough to watch it in the cinema. I remember, was it the Brachiosaurus, the first proper shot of a dinosaur? It looked so real. It has aged pretty well, but CGI has actually come on since then. But we'd never seen anything like it. And a good fast-paced story as well. I'm not that fussed on where Jurassic Park's gone now. But Jurassic Park is absolutely fantastic. Retro Hulkster, Once We're Warriors. Saw this when I was 15, 16 years old, and it blew my mind. True Grit. Another really good movie. I was very late to that. I saw that probably in the late 2000s. Yeah, fantastic. Action-packed, I suppose. Yeah, really, really good movie. Really good movie. Frumious Gaming. There was a lot of good movies in the 90s. Tremors is a personal fave. Good movie. Street Fighter. The Matrix. Glenn Ross. Total Recall. Awesome movie. Perfect Blue. A really good movie. Alien 3. But if I had to pick one, it has to be Jurassic Park as well. I know, Jurassic Park is definitely up there. Go-Tooth Gaming. The Grifters, 1990. Let's bring his comment up. Here is a modern day film noir. I can't pronounce that. If I ever saw one, you get sleazy characters with no morals, brutal attitudes, some interesting photography and story that is not exactly a happy one. all the ingredients of a good noir. Since the film is a 1991 and not the 40s and 50s, in which purists think that's the only period for noirs, also gets nudity and profanity. Ooh, yeah, baby. Private Wayno, I remember watching the original It as a kid and enjoyed it then. I think that movie was made for TV. I don't think it came out in the cinema, did it? But I really enjoyed it. And the freaky thing that always stood out for me and scared the hell out of me, it shouldn't have really been that scary a scene, was, do you know when they're adults, or like the second part of the movie, when they're all like having their reunion as all adults, and one of the guys couldn't make it, and they open the fridge, they go, oh, can I get another beer? They open the fridge and there's that guy's head in the fridge and he's just talking away. That bloke looked like just like my father did back then. So it was like seeing my father in the movie decapitated. Oh, it freaked the hell out of me, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I enjoyed it. Maybe Clerks. It's a kind of perfect film and quintessential 90s. Yes, I enjoyed it, but yeah, it is a typical 90s film. Craft Eye, Terminator 2, gotta be up there. Would say Home Alone. I did reply to that. I can't watch Home Alone because of the fucking tarantulas in it. That scene, I obviously have seen it, but it messes with my head. That bit with the camera gives you the perspective of the guy on the floor, and it's like literally they're putting the spider on you. Oh, it freaks the fuck out of me. Growth Stock Life, Waterworld all day. I think I said Mad Max 2 on water. I did enjoy Waterworld. Goodfellas, that's a good shout. That is Chopping Mall 80s. Two more to do. Saboteur Duel Gaming, butchered that. Honestly, the 90s is too big spectrum even to begin picking from. Half of my favourite movies came out across that 10-year period. But I'd have to give a shout out to Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and The Mummy. The Mummy's a good one. That was a late one. That came out 1999, didn't it? 1999 was an amazing year for movies as well. But yeah, it's a very good point. Like I was saying earlier on, there's so many good movies came out in the 90s, you know. Retro Import Gamer, Tricky, Speed would be up there, but can't really put anything in front of The Shawshank Redemption. Amazing movie. Fun fact, I don't know if I said this on my channel, I've actually got I like The Shawshank Redemption so much, I've actually got a Shawshank Redemption tattoo. I know I'm not joking. I think it was my third tattoo I ever had. This part here isn't part of my Rossi sleeve. So these, like, it's my favourite line, well, second favourite line from any movie ever. My first is Vasquez in Aliens, when she shouts, "Let's rock!" That's my favourite line in any movie ever. I don't know why, it's just so cool. But this says, "Get busy living or get busy dying." That's, I think he says it once, but it plays on Morgan Freeman's character's mind. It's like, why did they say that? Because I think they thought he was sewer slide gonna do that. Do you know what I mean? But that to me means get on with your life. You know, do something with your life or deal with it, basically. So yeah, that's why I've got that tattooed on my arm. But for me, I did stick to my my original answer. So runners-up would have to be Jurassic Park. Obviously, it was fantastic, the first one. That was 93, I think, wasn't it? Terminator 2. Now, this one could, if you ask me tomorrow, I could say Terminator 2. Another runner-up would be Star Wars Episode 1. Yes, I love that movie as well. But it has to be, for me, The Matrix. The Matrix is so good, and it's one of those movies where once the movie's finished, I still think it's still playing on my mind. It's like, what if none of this is real? Do you know what I mean? But that bit where he takes the pill, because I can't explain to you what the Matrix is. I have to show you. You have to experience it. And he wakes up and it's like it's like one movie finishes, and then the next movie starts, the second part starts. It's just crazy. I love all the martial arts in it, the special effects. It's the first time I remember that we saw that the bullet time cameras and stuff that they did, where it would pause and the camera would move around. And if you remember the early 2000s, oh my god, loads of movies were copying it. Video games, like a good one, Mad Max, not Mad Max, Mad Max, Max Payne. Yeah, Max Payne had the bullet time and stuff like that. First time I watched it, like the first 15 minutes, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was all about Ted, gotta get to the phone. I was like, what's this? And the girl I was dating at the time had it for Christmas. It was her first ever DVD, and I was watching it going, I don't know about this. And then when I started to get it, I was like that. I fell in love with it. The train, if you know, you know, the fight he has in the underground train. That there for me was, wow, that was brilliant. And it's one of those movies I'll never get tired of watching. All these movies you never get tired of watching, you know what I mean? So my favourite 90s movie today is The Matrix. Another hard one. Again, thank you to everyone who helped out today. Favourite 2000s movie. I think the first, up to like 2005, 2006, it was really good. But then, I don't know what's happened with the Hollywood system or something. Movies in Hollywood, so America, United States of America, they used to be the best at making movies. Not anymore, from the mid-2000s onward, in my opinion. So I asked you guys, what do you think? Retro Bear YT, you got to be the original Scary Movie. Still hold up today. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't. Even like when they announced him as a Mortal Kombat character, guest character, it's just a guy in a mask. Even Johnny Cage says that, doesn't he? I think he might be joking a bit there. Altered Bistro. I'm good at pronouncing your names, I do apologise. Yeah, gotta be the Lord of the Rings trilogy for me too. Saw them all day one at the cinema and rewatched them all every year. Amazing movies. Ricky Jones. I'm torn between 3, the first instalment, Lord of the Rings, The Dark Knight, and Daniel Craig's first appearance as Bond in Casino Royale. He nailed that role, didn't he? That is Daniel Craig's best Bond movie. It's his best. I like him in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well. But I thought, what was different about Daniel Craig, he was built when he was a big guy, especially in Casino Royale. When he, right at the beginning, where he's chasing this guy, and instead you can't quite keep up with him. There's a bit of parkour going on, because that was the big thing back then as well. But when he does like a Robocop and jumps through the wall to grab the guy, I was like, yes, and that's why he's my favourite Bond. He is my favourite James Bond because of that scene there. He does it very differently, you know. The Dark Knight, oh my god, amazing movies, absolutely amazing movies. And Captain Valencia, gotta be Lord of the Rings. I know that's technically 3. So, my gut instinct is Lord of the Rings. All 3 if I could pick, the trilogy. But if I had to pick one, it's Return of the King for me. They don't make movies like that anymore. There's too many people involved in movies now. But it's like, I think it was like one of the last times they ever they picked a producer, Jackson, what's his name? Phil Jackson, Chicago Bulls manager. No, they pick a guy. I think is this Jackson? I'm thinking Percy Jackson, but he's a lightning thief, isn't he? But they get a director and they give him the budget and trust him. You know, you do, but then he got all the people. He got like the people that did all the artwork for some of the novels, you know, that hardcore people. So they don't make movies like that anymore. But is it like 4 hours long, isn't it? Return of the King. It's just epic. You kind of know. I read the books after watching the movies. You kind of know what's going to happen, but it's nice to see it all fall into place and stuff like that. I would recommend, if you do enjoy the movies, read the books as well. There's a lot more in the books, but as a standalone movie, the Lord of the Rings movies are epic, absolutely fantastic. They cut some characters out, but it makes sense. They always said you couldn't make another novel. They said it's an impossible novel to make into a movie, because they tried before, didn't they, with the animated one? Because there's too much going on, and it's set over years, which I don't think the movie really shows that. But yeah, it's an absolute masterpiece of a movie, isn't it? Okay, moving on to the 2010s. This is where earlier on I said the problems with Hollywood started in the mid-2005s onwards. My next two picks are foreign movies, okay? It's another Godzilla movie. It's Shin Godzilla. It's almost the perfect movie. I love the design of Godzilla. He's my favourite design. It's the first time... Yeah, the Godzillas have done him when he's smaller, and then he's bigger by the end, or he's smaller in this movie, then he's bigger, like the Hollywood new Godzilla movies. He's different, he's a different colour, his legs are longer, he's a bit more athletic looking. But this one, it starts off, he's like, when he first comes onto shore, he's in pain. And at first I didn't like it, with his big massive gobbledygook eyes, but those eyes don't change size. And if you watch the movie, when is what we see as his final form, you can barely see his eyes. That's how much he's grown. But he's got those eyes, they're fish eyes, because he needs fish eyes to see, because he's come from the sea, hasn't he? It's one of those movies, I'm not exaggerating here, I probably watch it once every 6 weeks. Since it's come out, so in the last 9 years, I've watched that movie. I don't always watch it to the end, but I put it on when I'm in bed. I got it on my iPad, and I fall asleep to watching it. That's what I like to call the beast mode part, where the atomic breath is coming out, but the way his mouth opens, which has never been done before, seen before, and then the like lasers coming out from his back and stuff like that. That scene is one of my favourite movie scenes of all time. It's perfect. The somber singing music, it's like, he's scary, man, in that. Do you know what I mean? He's terrifying. Yeah, that's almost the perfect movie. Okay, so that's my movie of choice. That was an easy pick for me, the 2010s. And what's my favourite movie of the 2020s so far? This is what I would call, you got Star Wars, which I would say is the perfect movie, and this movie is the perfect movie. And nothing has come close to this movie this decade yet, okay? It's Godzilla Minus One. It's the perfect movie, okay? I love a good World War II movie. But a lot of the World War II movies are set in, like, this part of the world, set in Great Britain, set in the United States and stuff like that. So it's nice to see a World War II movie, or a movie just after the war, of these soldiers that come back to their hometown and everything's destroyed, and the main character is a kamikaze pilot and he's got shame. There's no sympathy when he comes home, because he's let shame on the family name, because kamikaze pilots aren't meant to come home, are they? If they've done a good job, they're not around anymore, okay? So that woman, his neighbour's giving him grief, and also telling him that your family was being wiped out as well, but she's got no sympathy for him. And it's brutal. It's, even without Godzilla being in that movie, the casting is perfect, and I love the fact that the baby in the movie isn't related to the woman you think is a thief at the beginning. and then it's like these worlds collide. So he helps her. Then she kind of, okay, you can come home with me for one night. She comes home, she ends up staying for the rest of the movie, basically. Then they're raising the little girl, like a tiny little baby, as their own. So she's growing up, and it's like he's got to get a job. So he's basically building his house, or his wrecked hut, basically. So because he gets a job, then he can afford to build a proper roof. He can, then he can afford to buy a motorbike and stuff like that. And the job then is a hard job. It's a very dangerous job that he's got, about detonating those, all the bombs that are still floating around the coast and stuff like that. So of course comes the danger money. It's an amazing movie that just so happens to have Godzilla in it as well. And it's the best Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is my favourite design. But it's the best as far as special effects. That scene where Godzilla is chasing, you've probably all seen it. It's not the first time we see him, but when he's chasing that boat and he's getting closer and closer and closer, that probably is the best special effects I've ever seen. And apparently they had a tiny budget compared to the typical Hollywood movie. And I've seen so many Hollywood movies, nothing compares to Godzilla -1. And it does lead, so you care about every single character. I honestly thought, spoiler if anyone hasn't watched it, I thought, because he was a kamikaze pilot, and I probably would have been satisfied with this ending, I thought I liked the plan to destroy Godzilla. But I knew when I first watched it, I'm so happy I watched it in the cinema as well, I thought he was going to redeem himself, save the day, and save Japan and the world by doing what he should have done at the start of the movie, because he chickened out. He didn't see the point. He didn't want to sacrifice his life for his country. But he's dealing with that all movie, and I thought it would have been an acceptable way, still technically a happy ending, if he crashed into Godzilla's mouth, blew his head off, and then the movie ends, but he is remembered as a hero. Spoiler again, he's got an eject button on his plane, and it is a happy ending. But then it does cut to really good. I missed this in the cinema. My mates had to point this out to me. She's got something on her neck. So when his partner, he's kicking himself. I say they weren't even partners. He's kicking himself for not sharing his feelings. It's obvious they love each other. I love this movie, in case you can't tell, right? But it's obvious they love each other. But neither of them have reacted or acting on their feelings. They just feel, they're like, I don't know. But then it goes from that thing on her neck to Godzilla's repairing himself. He's regenerating underwater, and it has been confirmed there's a sequel. Okay, so it leaves it open for a sequel. Okay, so that to me is a perfect movie. Okay, and it's joint my favorite movie of all time. In case you couldn't tell, I love Godzilla -1. So, again, like I said at the beginning, this is an open VR. Anyone wants to do a video response, or let me know in the comments what's your favourite movie. I enjoyed thinking about it, writing it down and stuff like that. Like I said, some you'll just know. Like Jason and the Argonauts in the 60s. Nothing's coming close to that. Nobody will ever change my mind. Again, Godzilla, nobody will ever change my mind. And the 2020s. Unless something good, unless the sequel that they're officially working on, it's a tough one. You got to make a better movie than the perfect movie, as far as I'm concerned. One more thing before we go. I am doing channel memberships now. So if you want to become a channel member, what you got to do is find me on Instagram, TonyFighter2. Send me a screenshot of a charity that you've donated to. It's going to be any charity. Send me a screenshot and you're in my, what's it called? Get a Gangbang Club squad, okay? And your name, this is amazing, your name will appear at the end on the credits of these videos, okay? Thanks to everyone that's done it. yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of your week. Love you, bye. Favourite movies from the Dumbass. My favourite movies from the 1950s to the 2020s. Let's go. Favourite movies. Fuck, I'm good at this. I'm good. I'm good at this. Jesus H. Christ.